Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Today we're going to talk a little bit about what's a good thing to buy at a flea market and what's not. And maybe a word of caution, I guess, about some of the sales that you may find out there or see, and maybe some advice about well, what to look for, or particularly in some cases, what to stay away from. And you know, you're going to find a lot of interesting stuff that makes it to yard sales, flea markets, garage sales, and the like. Some of that is the result of folks kind of getting out of the fishing hobby, maybe due to age. Maybe you'll find something that's an estate sale where folks have passed on and they're looking to liquidate some stuff that the people were using over time. You know, things change, right? So there's a lot of different reasons about why fishing equipment makes it into the used marketplace. And today we'll just go over some tips about what to look for and maybe what to avoid. And we're going to start with this one. This is an interesting one. Joe sent this one in. He asked me if I could service it, and quite honestly I can't. And I think that's one of the first hints we're going to give you. Think about the availability of parts, and think about the ability of somebody, if it's not you, somebody who may be able to service the reel. And if you can't find parts, or if you can't find somebody to service the reel, then clearly that is something that you want to avoid. What you want to also avoid is, well, missing the opportunity to see my videos. How'd you like that for a segue, huh? I would encourage you to subscribe if you like these types of videos. If you want to see more, subscribing is the best way to do it, particularly in conjunction with that notification button. If you subscribe and use that notification button, you'll see all the videos I'm posting. And most of the time it's about servicing and repairing fishing reels, showing you how to do it yourself. Sometimes it's the front end, like this one, where we're kind of talking about maybe what to avoid when you're purchasing stuff from flea markets and garage sales. And, well, you never know what you're going to learn. You never know what is worth reinforcing that you do know. And, well, we try to share all of that here in the hopes that you enjoy the art or the hobby of working on fishing reels, collecting them, and putting them back or giving them a second chance, which is what this channel is all about. So this is the first one. It's a no-name reel. It's interestingly enough, the only marker we have on here is Japan. If there was a badge on here, it's gone, and it doesn't work. Well, with that limited information, the first thing you're going to understand is that it's probably unrepairable if parts are needed. And what's needed? You need to do a thorough and screening, kind of an evaluation before you make an offer or before you actually want to go out and purchase this item. Now, I understand sometimes these items are involved in a group sale. Maybe somebody's got a box full of reels and they're looking to get sell them all in one sale rather than selling them individually. And maybe these just come along for the ride. But you can see on this one very clearly that the bottom end of this side plate is cracked. It's broken off. That means that you don't have a collar to support the gear shaft, and you can see this whole thing is just shaking like this. And when it shakes like this, well, attached to the other side of this collar is your main gear. Your main gear is sitting in the rack here, and well, it won't mesh properly if it's got that kind of play in it. It won't mesh with the pinion gear, which is up top on this side here. So knowing the anatomy of a reel, knowing a little bit about what can and cannot be repaired and what parts may be required, is all about learning it and then using that to your advantage when you're out shopping about trying to find these reels. I've had quite a conversation going with a channel viewer. His name is Tony. He comes under Geneva Quick Fix. He's telling me about some of the reels that he's purchased. He's on his way to doing some great stuff in terms of gaining more skills and the like. But he always comes back to me and says, I think I spent too much in rebuilding this reel. And what we're trying to do here is kind of give you some guidance about how not to get caught in a money trap, or how not to plain lose money because there's a situation like this cracked side plate on a reel that you don't even know who the reel is. We could speculate that it might be a Kmart reel or something, but no badging. And, well, this one has value. Where's the value? It's in a tuition reel. I call them tuition reels. You pay the money, you take them apart, you see how they're made. You learn from that. You got an education for the price of the reel. That's why I call it a tuition reel. So, thoroughly examine it. Do a test. You would have found out immediately that this thing does not turn. You could have speculated that there's all kinds of things, trapped line, broken pawl, other things that would make it not turn. But if you do a quick look all around, you'll notice the broken piece apart. Okay, that's one. He also sent this one in. This one is a nice reel. This is an older reel. This is a South Bend Orino. I think it's the Orino. Yeah, it's the Orino level winding anti-backlash casting reel. Beautiful reel. Sluggish. But if you're interested in collecting this reel, there's a couple of things that have gone on that's going to cost you more than the reel is worth to fix. The first one is it's missing the jeweled nut cap on this side as well as this side. And if you go online to buy those nut caps, if you can even find them, you're going to find out that it's more than the reel is probably worth. My guess is you'll probably pay $8 or $9 each. I don't know why these were taken off of the reel. It does still turn. That can be fixed. That noise can be fixed with some oils and some lubrication and some cleanup on it. You can still take it fishing, but what's going on here is you're going to miss the ability to adjust the spool, and well, you're just basically running on bushings there. So I'll help Joe out. We'll do a little service on this one, but if it's collectability you're looking for, the broken handle knob, the missing pieces on this one, the availability of trying to find those pieces and the costs associated with that are going to tell you stay away from that if you're interested in having this reel as a collectible. Why would you buy this reel? Maybe you have one of these reels. If you have one of these reels and need parts, well, it's working. I'm kind of complaining, but it's working. And with it working, it means that your gearing inside of that is correct, your line guide assembly is correct, your pawl is working, your level wind is working. All of those things say that there's good replacement parts in here. And replacement parts is all that this is about, right? You're either going to pay a lot to get these replacement parts that are missing, or pay nothing but the value or the cost of this reel, because you'll have the workable parts, the gear mechanisms and so on inside this, if that's what it is that you're looking for. So, word of caution, look for the missing pieces and parts in addition to testing the reel. I hope that he didn't spend much on this reel. If he did, well, maybe it's lessons learned all around. Okay, so those are two of the reels that we found. We've also found these, and these are in good condition. Joe purchased these. They seem to be working well. We'll take them apart and we'll clean them up. He asked me to work on them. But these are, there's two of them. They're Shakespeare reels. They're actually pretty nice reels. They're closed face spinning reels. One's a Mantis and the other one's an SC15. I'm not quite sure what that means. Probably some kind of cast or something. I don't know. If you're working on these, again, parts are going to be the issue. Now, if you've picked up a Zebco, well, there's been millions of Zebcos made, and chances are if you need a part, you can find a part for them or find a donor reel for them. When you start getting to the other reels, it's going to be less availability, and well, you're going to make sure that they work. Both of these work, so I'm going to actually tune these up. When you're going for these reels at a flea market, if it's not a Zebco, chances are you're only going to pay $5 or $10 max. Make sure that they work, because you'll spend $5 or $10 on a donor reel, and then you've got to go figure out how to put it back together again. Look for condition. Condition is everything. We've got a rusted steel handle here. That would kind of turn me off on that. Probably would say that somebody has not done a very good job of working on these or keeping them maintained. But again, if you just want to take them fishing, these will work. You can add line to them. You can go in and do an elementary service on these. And, well, kind of interesting pieces all around. The last one I'll share with you, I'm actually going to do a video on. This did not come from Joe, but here's another example. There's this one came into my possession because somebody bought it and then realized it couldn't be serviced, or he couldn't service it, or whatever. I don't know. He said, "You can have it. I'm done with it." It's an Eagleclaw Reel. We were actually talking about Eagleclaw celebrating its 100th birthday this year. They were founded in 1925 by Wright and McGill. They've been privately owned all along. The same family still owns the business today. And this is an Eagleclaw Reel. Now, Eagleclaw did have a lot of production that they made their own reels in the U.S. I think this is an example of one of them. This is kind of a fun one, but this one unfortunately has a cracked dome lid on it. And this one is made in Japan, and actually this one's made in Taiwan. So that kind of dates it a little bit. So my guess is this one was not manufactured by Eagleclaw, but rather somebody made it for them. Parts are going to be the issue. This is a lever drag that's frozen. We don't know why it's frozen. So I think we'll do a video on why did this reel fail. One of the things that's interesting here is it is missing the top post. So again, what we were talking about, if you are purchasing something, maybe you think that you can bring this one back to life. Well, realize that you're missing a post here. And other than that, this may wind up being a tuition reel. When we take it apart, we may find that there's something broken inside of that. And if it's broken inside, almost guaranteed that you will not be able to get parts for it. So let's summarize this up. If you're going to be searching for fishing reels and tackle at flea markets, you need to be very vigilant. Don't follow your emotions. Don't run and say, boy, I've really been looking for a reel like this. The guy only wants $5 for it, or whatever he might want for it. Yeah, here's the $5 and go away thinking you've got the deal of a lifetime, without doing the testing and without doing the inspection to notice the broken or the missing pieces and parts. Take a breath. If the reels have been on the table, they've probably been there for some time before you arrived. They'll probably be there sometime after you arrive. So take a breath. If you're wondering about the value of the reel, step aside, go back to your car, go down and walk the next aisle, whatever it is, do a little bit of research on it. Just go to eBay or some other internet sites. It's a good place to get a value of a reel. You might see that the value of this reel is $25. You know you've got missing parts on there. Go take a look and see if you can find anybody selling the jewel caps and what they're selling for. And then compare that with the price that the person is asking. If it all adds up to more than what it's selling for, walk away from the deal. There's plenty of deals to be found out there. You don't have to buy every reel that you see. You should probably avoid the majority of them. But regardless, I hope that the tips that I gave you today are valuable, and that well, you can learn from this rather than learn the hard way. That when you get home, you find out that it's unrepairable, or it was much more than you thought it was going to be in terms of getting this reel repaired. Before I leave, I want to thank our first responders, our police, fire, safety, rescue, everybody involved in keeping us out of harm's way. I want to thank you for watching. I hope this has proved valuable to you. I hope you learned something from it. Leave your questions in the comment section, and have a great day. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle.